Alright, so this is my Light and Darkness Dragon artifact deck. It's been working pretty good, mainly since I took out. I was trying to do infinite artifacts, basically just constantly recycle and just create an infinite, basically infinite loop using like Localize and Exodios. Even though Localize by itself is more than enough, didn't really need Exodios. It was just the fact that I was trying to do the Gustav Max thing, and also and recycle, and be able to like just basically almost infinitely burn, not in the same turn of course, but it's just the ability to recycle, so I can just keep reusing stuff. Let's see. Oh, it has some imperfections. I couldn't get it to work. So if I use a malefic version, it probably would work. I'll check that later. The point is that I was trying something, it didn't work out too well, so then I tweaked it a little bit, and try to get the deck to function, so I don't have to just scrap it. I scrapped the idea of infinite per se. Exodio still allows me to recycle my monsters, so that still gives me almost the infinite ability. I don't get to recycle my spells in trash, but whatever, half is enough. Alright, so I got 3 Light and Darkness Dragons, of course. He's great against a lot of decks, of course, or against a lot of stuff. Monster effect heavy decks. He's just boss, right? Unless you do the whole little chain thing, but you gotta have experience to really deal with Light and Darkness Dragon. Light and Darkness Dragon, of course, has a really good effect. When he gets pwned, activate his effect, target a monster in the graveyard to special summon by destroying all cards on your side of the field, and then special summon the thing. And since these are artifact monsters, obviously when they get destroyed during opponent's turn, blah blah blah, you get effects. So it's it has some synergy right there. So that's part of the spam, the synergy. Of course, in this deck you still could perform an OTK, so still has OTK capabilities. But just like first turn Light and Darkness tends to make people rage quit. Tends to shut them down pretty hard. Alright, so another thing I know is if they ever do bring the whole OCG ruling over here, where the person who goes first has one less card thing, the ability to play Mausoleum, pay 2,000, drop Light and Darkness Dragon, or play Photon Sanctuary Tribute, summon Light and Darkness Dragon. That will pretty much help you balance out the fact that your opponent's going to have 6 cards while you only have 5. You know what I mean? I also heard something about the ruling. Not only makes it where you don't draw the 6th card if you go first, you also can't draw that turn. If you go first, you can't draw, period. Not just you can't draw the 6th card, you just can't draw, period. So you can't. So there's no point in playing any draw cards because you can't draw. So it's like, whoa, that's even more digging. That's far worse than previously thought. But oh well. So that's why stuff like Terraforming is good, because it's a searcher, not a draw card. Alright, Exodios, of course, allows me to recycle stuff. If played right, you could end up summoning 2 Exodios, overlay, and make the Gusto max, detach, deal damage, the usual, and then that'll allow you to loop the Forbidden Lords, because the idea is to overlay them, detach as material, so that way they don't get banished. That way they just go to the graveyard. And then when you summon another Exodios, the one in the graveyard, go back in the deck and loop, obviously. But the ability to make the Gusto max is pretty good, especially when you can deal 2,000 points of damage by its effect. It's already at 3,000. And if you could get Shark Fortress on the field and use Shark Fortress effect and target him, he's a 3,000 double attacker. That right there, 6,000 points of damage plus that's 2,400 from it. Shark Fortress, and there's your OTK if you can set it up. it's all about just, you know, setting it up. All right, I got Achilles, Labras, Maraltac, and Caduceus. I heard some shit that might be changing their names based off of their colors, so it would be easier to pronounce them. But like, well, they're weapons. Why the hell are we gonna call them no colors? They're not Dustins or Ojamas. But anyway, I did not know, because I wasn't really paying attention clearly to Maraltac's effect. I did not realize that his effect was destroy one face-up card your opponent controls. That makes a big difference. I thought he only destroyed monsters. So in one of my videos, I said that he only does monster, and there's really no artifact that can destroy spell and trap. But I was wrong, because apparently Maraltac can actually destroy back row as long as it's face up. So that's good against stuff like Royal Decree. Because somebody actually used Royal Decree on me. He actually doubled Royal Decree, like chain, because he chained to this card, chained to my Theosophy of the artifacts, and that was just like, annoying. But I was like, well, it's kind of hurting you too, because you have Royal Decree on the field. But then he made the Randall, so it's like, yeah, that changes things. It kind of slowed things down. I did misplay and ended up not benefiting the way I wanted to, because I could have actually got Maraltac's effect off and got rid of the Royal Decree, and then my red screen would have been live again. Then I could have activated my other copy of the Theosophy of the artifacts on the field and been able to do extra stuff. But also at the time, I didn't have the ability to use my Xena Emperor, because I didn't have it in the deck. I was trying out Valhalla and Celestial Transformation, and one of my duels, those cards were useless, because my opponent had Fossil Dyna with the Silver Kakos, and it's like, woo! All my cards special summon, yay! Yeah, I don't want to be in that position. I need. There's sometimes you just need to summon. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to summon a monster. You know, it's not all about special summoning. So the fact that he shut my special summoning capabilities down, it's like, yeah, that does hurt. So that's why it's like, you know, Mausoleum is pretty good in an artifact deck, because it gives you the ability to normal summon in scenarios where you can't special. You know what I mean? Let's see. Of course, the staples, you got the artifact movement, of course, the double cyclone, you know, back row destructions. You got the Mausoleum, of course, that helps you summon, you know, light and darkness, especially if it's a first turn move. Late game move, doesn't matter, as long as you get him on the field, he spams. But of course, you can, you know, do stuff like, you know, the trap, summon an artifact monster, right? Then if you have an artifact monster in the graveyard, you just return it back to the back into the deck for Exodios. Then you have 2 tributes, tribute them, so you don't have to sacrifice life points if you don't want to. And you know, so many different types of plays you can play, and it's been working greatly. Like once I changed it to this version, I was just winning. It was like, all right, it works. That's all that matters. It works. I'll play some more, win some more, and then post it online, which is why I'm doing the deck profile now, because I'm winning. Regaki Bray, red screen. It helps, because, you know, I mean, the ability to, you know, do the little tricks is cool. You know, pop my back roll, you know, and do this and that. But sometimes the cards don't combine right, and sometimes you just need to stall and save your own ass so you can have a fighting chance. So red screen, of course, comes into play on that. Honest, because pretty much all the monsters are light, including light and darkness, except for Exodios, but they're pretty much all light. Honest and light and darkness is a pretty good combo, because your opponent might try to weaken light and darkness to a point, you know, where, you know, you can't negate anymore, and then they'll be like, haha, now summon a monster, attack to kill light and darkness, and then you just be like, honest. You know, and that definitely can hurt them, because they won't expect it. Now obviously your monster is stronger than his monster. He takes some damage. His monster dies, and then until end of turn, you gain that monster's attack. So that right there is if your opponent goes into main phase 2 and plays some other cards, they'll get negated because he got, because Light and Darkness actually has some power boost that he can use. Double checking. Of course, it matters if he has extra defense, because Honest only does attack. I think there's a scenario. Let's see. No, it might not work. Double checking. No, it'll work. It'll work. Right? No, it won't work. Actually, it won't. Because if your opponent plays 4 cards, you have 800 attack, 400 defense. Because the attack and defense go down. And then even if he has a monster with like 1,000 attack, you're Honest, your attack will go up, but your defense won't. So you only have 400 defense. So you won't be able to negate anything. It would have been cool if it did work. But Honest obviously works for everything else. But it's the fact that you could at least protect Light and Darkness long enough that, when it's your turn, you can drop Exodios, right? Since you're Honest, you can drop Exodios and then tribute the Light and Darkness on the field and Exodios to summon another Light and Darkness, so you can just pretty much reset everything and make your opponent mad with his life. Let's see. Okay, I forgot the extra deck. Adrius, just because it's dark and it pops face-ups. Fortress, for OTK purposes. Consult Pleiades, just because he's good. Durandal, because he's broken. He's awesome. Turns Dark Hole into MST. And Gustav Max for that good old burn damage. Plus it's a 3000 beat stick. And that is the Light and Darkness artifact / OTK deck.